Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Now, you can tell a lot about a person by the way they lived and by the way that they died. Let me tell you a story about Alex, Johnny's Pizza. I don't know that man, but I seen the love and support that he got at his visual. When he passed away. But what I could tell you is the story that I heard about Alex from Johnny's Pizza. When Alex stepped out of his store at the end of the night, he was giving the leftover food from the store to homeless people. He was feeding the homeless. In his last breath, in his last steps, when he get to the afterlife and God asks him, what did you do with your time? How did you spend your time? And in which way he died? He will be given his book of deeds in his right hand, or God will know that he died doing a good deed. Let me say that. His last acts in this world was doing a good deed. And in the visual, you can see the support of the whole community, the love and the pain, love and pain that the community had for him. Now, let me tell you a story about Kite, IB from Bronx River. Shall we begin? Let's take it back. Let's take it back to the early 90s. I think 95, 96. There was a dice game going on in Bronx River between Snake, aka Bishop, and Chris from across the bridge, 174th. Chris was a dude that was fly, that got money, and everybody loved. Snake was a basketball player who should have stuck to playing basketball. Anyway, they're rolling dice, and Chris had cracked Snake every time. He beat him in a dice game. Snake lost all his money. Snake goes upstairs and get the toolie. Rest in peace to Chris. He took Chris' life over a dice game. So when the body dropped and Chris was laying on the floor, bleeding out, dying, Kite, aka IB, went in Chris' pockets and took his wallet and took all his money. He took all the money. Half an hour later, the police catches Kite, put him in the police car. There's no witnesses to this crime. Kite ends up in the police car. Right after that, after the police finish having a conversation with Kite, the police go picks up Snake. They still didn't have a witness except the fact that Kite led the police to Snake. Right? Snake tells on himself. But scratch all of that. See, the moral of the story is you could tell a person by the way they lived through the people and the way they died. Kite died on a corner the same way Chris did. The same way Chris did. Only difference is when Kite had his visual in Bronx River It was a bunch of dirty, dusty dudes out there that didn't really love him, and he didn't like them neither. And when you look at the images of the dudes that went out there to support him, that was standing on that corner and digging my back out and talking about me, the way they was talking about me, Scooby-Doo. Let me tell y'all something, right? The store that Kite got his TV turned off in front of, that store put that video, those videos, those images on the internet. Why y'all didn't go have a talk with the store for leaking that? Why y'all didn't go to that store and have problems with them for putting them videos on the internet? Those videos was already all over the internet before I put them up there, so I shared it so people could see, because the reality of it is I was still hurt behind what happened to Kite. Even though when I was in the hospital bleeding, after I brought him in my house and fed him my food, gave him some drinks and had a good time with that snake, he leaked my information about what hospital I was in. Both hospitals. He leaked that information. While I was in the hospital bleeding, he was gossiping with them internet niggas. Betrayal at its finest. But the moral of the story is, I don't want to get off the story. See, the video that I didn't post with Kite, you know what it showed? There was 2 bodies laying on the floor on Dykeman. One of them, the whole community was over that body, crying, grieving, in tears. And the other body, Kite, laid on that floor by himself. Never die alone, people. He was standing out there with dudes on the floor, looking around, because you could tell when that bullet entered his body, it paralyzed him from the waist down. So all he could do was turn his head and look for help. When he died on that floor, on that hot concrete, the people was walking by, stepping over him. No help, no care, no love. Rest in peace to Alex. Rest in peace to Kite. I'm just going to be real, because there's a message in this glass bottle. Never die alone. The way that Kite lived reflected the way that he died. Grimy. The way that Alex lived reflected the way that he died. There's people that really genuinely loved, cared, caressed, and showed him that love on his deathbed. And then there's Kite. Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. As for you dudes that was outside running your mouth, talking about me, see, it was a bunch of y'all out there. Some of y'all I robbed back in the days. Took your chain, took your money, took your gun. Others, I spit in your face and pistol whipped you. Others, I took the block, ran the block, dominated the block. And you came home from jail big mad. Big mad. I remember when I knocked Cork out in front of the corner store. When I knocked Cork out, and Wilson told you, when you kept telling him to get up and fight, Wilson said, you open your mouth again, and I'm going to knock you out too. Y'all stay tuned for my live at 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. I might want to tell some more of this story. It is what it is. A lot of y'all dudes that was out there talking bad about me, y'all know one-on-one back in the days. But this ain't back in the days, though. I was a problem for y'all. And there's two sides to every story. See, my friend, you know my friend? You used to be like my brother, but you eating my back out. Yo, son, truth be told, everybody that knows you and knows me know that your reputation in the streets came from me, my nigga. Your reputation came from me. Let's keep that in mind. You were snatching chains back in the days, and then you became a drug dealer, my nigga. But when it came to that hammer, should I tell a story about when me and Eric was on a run and you got duffed out? And you didn't tell us who did that to you. We just jumped out of the car and cleared the whole block out. And later on, I found out that that was your baby mother's brothers that beat you up. There's so many stories for me to tell. Do you really want me to get into these stories? Shout out to Denise. Love you, sis. Oops, my bad. Y'all stay tuned, y'all.